So there's got to be a magnet in the ball when you have it because everything you have is going in. You're coming in clutch like Bill Murray in Space Jam.
What a great movie that is. Good old Space Jam. When is
Good old.
Space Jam 2 going to come out?
I don't know, but it will. It's supposed to have LeBron in it. Like that's. I don't know if they started filming or not, but we'll just be interested to see how that goes.
I think even more so fun than LeBron in it, right? Because Michael Jordan obviously was in Space Jam 1. Who are the other players that they're going to have?
I would think they would have very obvious Anthony Davis. Um, maybe Chris Paul because he's done a lot of commercials, so he's got some acting chops.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you're not gonna have Giannis would be cool, but I don't see him doing it. Maybe Steph Curry, maybe KD or James Harden. I think could be a really good like if he stole his powers.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else in the NBA, they're all kind of quiet now. They're not as the big personalities as the Charles Barkley days.
But
So
speaking of Sir Charles and the team that he used to play for, not the 76ers, but the Phoenix Suns, they indeed are our highlight team of the week, Rutledge.
they are. So Phoenix right now, when you think of the Western Conference, you think of Golden State, you think of the Lakers. You right now think of the Clippers because of Kawhi. But Phoenix is actually doing very well. They're 22 and 11. They're 8 and 9 at home, and they're 9 and 4 on the road. Here's a big thing to look at with their record. This year in the NBA, the top 6 teams are guaranteed playoff spots, and the rest that finish well have to do a play-in tournament to go to the playoffs. So the Phoenix Suns have the are the only team with a guaranteed playoff spot in the West that has a losing home record that is still doing very well. And they're only a half game back from third place against the Clippers. So who's making the magic in Phoenix to sort of like light the cactuses on fire for them, Connor?
Outside of just that regular old summer heat. Um, so the straw that stirs the drink for sure would be Devin Booker. Yeah, I think he scored. There was one night last year he scored 70 points. He's been lighting it up big time. He's the first name that you definitely think about. The other player that got traded to Phoenix this year was Chris Paul, and Chris Paul I think has brought a great, just a great veteran presence to this organization. Right, he's no longer can probably be that number one guy, but can do a lot of really good things. Other players still on Phoenix that are playing in this game tonight. DeAndre Ayton, which Rutledge, you might be having some nightmares because he is tearing you up. Tearing you up this evening. So they've got some players, and that's not a team that has a bunch of good guards and a good wing and no good big man, or just a bunch of good big men. They've got a lot of players that can do a lot of different things, which I think could be really good as the top teams in the West are going to have a variety of challenges to throw, to throw at each team.
Yeah, and they something amazing about Phoenix. Most teams, like when we talked about Brooklyn, they do really well when their best players are on the court. With Phoenix, when CP3 and uh, I can't play this game and read at the same time. Sorry. When CP3 and Booker are not on the court together, Phoenix actually does a lot better. They have a lot of pieces. Chris Paul, while he's used to being that sort of go-to role, he's actually the leader in assists for the team. So he's not putting it all on his back. He's sort of helping guide the ball, which is really kind of making it work out for them.
He is providing a good insurance policy, if you will, for
Definitely,
Phoenix.
he is there. Like he's there for you. You're in good hands. He's a good neighbor. He's whatever he is, right?
He's whatever he is.
He's
He's
whatever he
he's
is.
kind of like DeAndre Ayton, who just scored on you again.
He did
Uh,
again.
so, but with that, they not a complete team. You wouldn't think those Phoenix Suns. We do have the trade deadline coming up. Are you seeing anything in particular that Phoenix might want to do as it relates to, as it relates to trades?
It's gonna really. I I will say they're out there. They're looking for some players. There's been some rumors of maybe something for them with Sacramento, maybe something for them with some other teams, but nothing too settled. The trade deadline, of course, is coming up very quickly. They do need that extra piece. Connor, who have you seen that they're going to kind of pick up?
My the big thing for me that I'm looking at would be another big man to be able to throw at, an Anthony Davis, a Rudy Gobert, a Jokic, somebody to have some good fresh legs. One of the names that I saw that surfaced was Nerlens Noel. Currently plays for the New York Knicks, which is going to unfortunately be a seller at the trade deadline this year. I always kind of think that basketball is better when the Knicks are good. Nevertheless, I think that Phoenix could make a move to bring a Nerlens Noel in. It's just sort of it's not a sexy move, but be a backup center and a guy to give Aton a break. Just be that big body to throw at, as I said, your Jokic or your Anthony Davis, or whoever that may be. So definitely, I think that the Phoenix Suns could benefit from a trade deadline move, as they're not a complete team.
They're not. They're doing very well with it though, and I think if they had that extra piece come in, just someone to sort of lighten the load for everyone else, they could be a potential very big force in the West. Um, the big thing to note is that they haven't played a lot of the heavy hitters yet. So this week's schedule is big for them because they have the Lakers and they have the Warriors. And while the Warriors are not the threat that you're used to thinking they are, that's the threat that the Suns are. Get it. Um, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of go this week. So tonight they play the Lakers, and then on Thursday night they play the Warriors. We're gonna pick the Lakers game later. NBA.com in their power rankings ranked through week 10, Phoenix has the easiest schedule going forward. So they could see a really big playoff run and everything land in their lap because of sort of the way everything's given. Remember that the next set of the schedule will be unveiled later. The NBA didn't unveil the whole schedule at the same time because they want to observe what COVID's going to be like, what they have to do for teams and travel. So we'll definitely see how the second half. Come on, LeBron, what are you doing? We'll definitely see how the second half plays out for them. But Connor? What are your feelings about Phoenix, especially if they lock down a good trade going forward as a team in the West?
I could definitely see Phoenix making some noise as it relates to maybe winning a first round series, things like that. You got to remember, even during regular years, they always talk about there's two regular seasons in the NBA. Everything that happens before the All Star break, and then everything that happens after the All Star break. I suspect Phoenix, the sun might fade a little bit. I don't know if you liked my pun there.
Ha!
Uh, the sun might fade just a little bit. As teams start to really tighten down their defense and get ready for playoffs and things like that. But you know, that's why it's a complete season, right? That's why you have to play all these games. And I think that Phoenix has had such a good first part of the season that definitely I expect Phoenix to be in the playoffs, which will be fun because Arizona is kind of one of those states that will be a little more open as it relates to COVID. So who knows? We might see some fans in the stands for playoff basketball. That was a real rim rocking kind of dunk there.
That
That's
was
for sure.
His Majesty had just settled himself there as King James came to play, and then we just blow right past him. You drive the lane.
Hey, that's Ricky Rubio. That's the flying beard right there.
That is
um,
okay.
but yeah, so that I definitely if Phoenix misses the playoffs, I'd be very shocked. But I would not be surprised if they kind of fall a little bit and have to play their way in. What do you think, Rutledge?
I feel like Phoenix with the way they're going is going to be a lock for the top 6 of the West, and they're not going to have to do the play-in tournament. I think they're getting some national media attention. Not saying they're not, but I definitely believe they're going to be kind of a sleeper team right now that goes forward. They will. I am with you. I see a first series win. It's going to be this week is going to be a big telling. How do they shut down Steph Curry? And even though AD's not on the court, how do they handle the Lakers? Um, I want. There's still a bunch of questions, but I'm sure as if you're someone who casually follows basketball, you don't see the Phoenix Suns in fourth place, one half a game back from third place, and think that that's normal.